Welcome to New Hampshire's Business. I'm Fred Coker. The gig economy is growing. You ask, what's gig economy? That's G-I-G. We're going to explain it as we go forward. And here's some of the definition. From long-term work with a single employer to freelance, temporary, and contract work. Entrepreneurial in nature, autonomous, and flexible. Now, here's some more info. Probably about 15% of the labor market in this country. That's an estimate from the U.S. Labor Department. They also have said that between 80 and 100% of the net employment growth in this country is from the gig economy. Primarily millennials and boomers. Online selling is the leading gig. With me to talk about this is somebody who has written about it for the New Hampshire Bar Association newsletter, Jennifer Parent, who's chair of the litigation department at McLean Middleton and part of their employment practice. Welcome.
Thank you, Fred.
Nice to have you here. You have written about this, and that's what led me to you. This economy, the gig economy, we tried to find some data in New Hampshire about the gig economy, but so far nobody seems to be tracking it. But we're going to talk about it anyhow because it's here. What's your definition of it?
So a gig economy is a labor market with freelance workers or workers who take on short-term assignments or projects or gigs. So a gig is any type of work opportunity. You sometimes hear people refer to the gig economy as the sharing economy or on-demand jobs.
On-demand jobs, such as pet grooming or transporting people to some place or coaching. Things like that?
That's right. So self-employed, independent contractor, freelancer, not new concepts.
And sometimes it's what people will do on the side in addition to their regular job, or sometimes just leave their regular job because they want to be their own boss, which I did, and you start your own little business and you try to make it work.
That's right. And what we're seeing is these people, there's an increasing number that are using these digital platforms to connect them with jobs. So a digital platform, they're using a website, they're using a mobile app, and they're connecting. Example is Uber or Lyft. You're using a mobile app to get your ride share.
Right, and each Uber driver is sort of his or her own employee, and even though they're working for that larger system.
That's the rub. So the big question today is what are they classified as?
Yep.
So you can be an employee or an independent contractor today. And there are different tests depending on what you're looking at or the reason you're looking at it. And if you're an employee, there are certain protections that you get. Minimum wage, overtime, unemployment.
Right.
As an independent contractor, you don't necessarily get all those protections.
And that really comes into your bailiwick in the law firm, does it not?
That's right. So those are most of the questions we get. If there are companies that want to hire somebody in this gig economy, they want to hire somebody to create a new website for them, they've got to think about how they are going to classify them.
In doing some homework on this, I found that the millennials who are in their mid to late 20s and early 30s, mid 30s, a lot of them don't want to work for a company. They want to be their own boss. So they have gone out into the gig economy. And then, of course, seniors who want to still work a little bit after they've retired are in the gig economy. There seems to be two groups that comprise some of this.
That's right. So millennials, they grew up in the digital age, so they sort of naturally gravitated towards it. The boomers, because this is they're using a digital platform, they can do as many jobs or as few jobs as they want, and they tend to be highly skilled. Then you've got this category of what I'd call the flexible, someone who needs or wants flexibility. So they may have a full-time job.
Right.
On their way home, they need extra money, so maybe they pick up that Uber or Lyft customer.
And this is growing, according to the U.S. Labor Department in this country. And what's interesting, I think, and a key issue is workforce, where the companies can't find enough workers. So they're outsourcing to independent contractors who are part of this gig economy.
Right. So if you're a company, you don't necessarily need a full-time website person, but you want to hire somebody to overhaul your website.
Right.
You would go to this gig economy and hire somebody to do that for you.
The gig economy, G-I-G, it really started back in the 1900s with musicians who wanted to have a gig at the local club. And now we use it in economic terms. We're going to talk more about this going forward. I know we're going to hear more about it, but thank you, Jennifer Parent, Chair of the Litigation Department at McLean Middleton.
Thank you, Fred.